how well the public embraces it is really the point here, and probably the most important part of what I'm going to say. And that is ultimately, the success or failure of our library depends upon how well we listen to the public and what we find out about their needs. We have to know what our community needs, and we have to ensure that our story also tells them what we have. That includes being partners or seeking partnerships within the community also, so that that there's a synergy that we can develop so that we get the word out and we talk about it and we also provide what they're asking for. And librarians may be key there, so not only is it the space and the content, but the people. As far as the Monroe County Public Library goes, we're currently doing a couple of partnerships, some that may be interesting to you as well. We're partnering with the Bloomington Technology Partnership on something called Treehouse. And Treehouse is an online video and interactive learning platform, which is much about coding. And the Bloomington Technology Partnership, along with Bloomington Economic BE Development Partnership, is offering a Bloomington coding school where for 6 weeks or 8 weeks they actually have free classes that make use of this software, and it's teaching skills that this community lacks and the workforce needs. So people can use Treehouse, actually get badges and certificates for completion of these things that they can then use on their resume and their real skills that they can take to jobs. But the Monroe County Public Library is currently under renovation. The renovation will provide new space and services we've never offered, or at least not in such a targeted way. We're creating a new service model, and we're changing the roles of both our librarians and staff to better meet the needs of our community. We're doing this based on what the community told us, though. Ultimately, all public libraries are not equal in the services they provide, just as I said before, because they really need to be consistent with the needs of the community in which they reside. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the planning process that we went through to determine what our renovation would be, and that really goes back to our strategic planning process. And there were several steps that led up to the renovation plan itself. A strategic planning committee was convened to oversee the whole process, and back in 2012 and 2013, the community leaders that came together represented business, nonprofit, education, and there were members from the library as well as the library board or Friends of the Library. They reviewed information of all steps of this process and ultimately came together to write this strategic plan. The library chartered a futures committee to study the future of libraries, and these were library staff members who developed a number of questions that they thought would be the most important for the library to be focusing on, or to find information that would then lead them to the goals that we needed to establish. They conducted site visits at various locations or libraries, digital creativity centers, something that we felt we needed to know more about, attended conferences, looked at library trends, talked to experts, and that sort of thing. And then a future search conference took the questions that they had identified and explored what trends were likely to be the most important for the library or have the biggest impact on library services in the future. They developed 12 common themes for action, and that was actually what established the framework for the actions identified in the strategic plan. Following that, we did a community survey which went out to about 3,000 people in Monroe County. And the survey asked about current use and satisfaction with library services and priorities for the future. And some of the highlights from that survey: 79% of the Monroe County community believe the library is very important to the future of the community. Top roles for the library in the future were both traditional in terms of providing an educational resource and contributing to literacy resources for reading and viewing, and a source of free information. Then the library staff brainstormed actions, and to achieve the goals, the final report was made, the library board approved it. This is a long process, as you can imagine. And then, and through that process, the mission of the library was actually updated as well, and there was one important word that was inserted in it, and I'll read you that mission. It is, the mission of the Monroe County Public Library is to enrich lives and strengthen our community by providing equitable access to information and opportunities to read, learn, discover, and create. Anybody have an idea which word is new?
Create.
Create. This is new in the library, and a really important addition to our mission statement. As we work collaboratively with the schools these days, one of the things that they are doing in connected learning is really about placing students in a place where they can connect with one another and be hands-on to actually create and participate in the learning process. So our strategic goals are to strengthen 21st century literacy skills, to provide shared access to the world's information for free, to provide high-quality, personalized customer service, and to optimize stewardship of library resources. So we have to do it well, and we have to do it smart and cheap, if possible, and provide it free. The library director, Sarah Laughlin, likes to say that there are 3 things that the library does that no one else does. And that is, we have librarians. And we can help you find the information that you need. We're free and we're neutral. So anyone can come, anyone can get that information, and that's not true at many places. But in this strategic plan, we identified several strategies to meet the goals and some specific actions. And some of those are directly related to our renovation project. So they were to create a defined space for digital creativity and collaborative work during the main library renovation, to develop a digital creativity learning experience, to update our adult and teen programming philosophy, to position the auditorium as a valued local performance venue, and to renovate the library auditorium. So we are currently in the 3rd phase of library renovation. Between November 2009 and August of 2010, the library completed the first 2 phases of renovation. And during that work in 2009, architects completed designs for the future innovation, the one that we are in right now, phase 3, as we're calling it. And those plans in 2009 included moving the Friends of the Library bookstore, updating and moving some staff offices, updates to our meeting room and Indiana room, as well as enlarging our movies and music area. And that was pretty much what the whole plan was for this phase. But in January of 2013, as we were ready to begin planning for the 3rd phase of renovation and ready to send out an RFP to architects, we went back to those plans. And we found that the programs and services that we were beginning to provide in the library, or that we knew we needed to provide in the future, and our staffing had changed since 2009. The budget constraints had caused the library to eliminate 8 staff positions, and to work more efficiently, we knew that it meant reduced service points, and also meant that we had to continue to be as efficient as possible.